Yo, what's good, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry Sisters review. This is season 7, episode 1, entitled New Beginnings. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, then you already know what it is and what it always will be. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, tell somebody to tell somebody, all that good stuff if you choose to. If not, just sit back, relax, and we're going to get right into this messy thing. Now I'm doing something a little different this season. I had to change it up because who child. I'm gonna talk about my top favorite moment to my least favorite moment. And that's how we gonna do this thing. Surprisingly, my most favorite moment of this season premiere was the scene between Danny and Tony. Never thought I'd say that. Never thought those words would come out of my mouth. But that was my favorite moment of last night's episode. Mainly because we get to see a different side of Tony. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, when he was introduced to us, he seemed like very goofy, like a little goofball, somebody I would never take seriously. And I got to give it up for the writers. It feels as if they have completely changed his character. And I made reference to this on Our Sister's Keeper when I felt like we were watching a completely different person, a completely different character, a more matured individual. And so we see that Danny is awakened. She's having a nightmare of someone trying to kidnap her, trying to grab her. And Tony made reference about the possibility of Danny going to therapy to talk to somebody. And she did what she normally does. She deflects. She tends to try to bring humor in a situation that isn't funny. And Tony did a great job by redirecting the conversation back to where he started. Danny was under the impression, like a lot of people are, that therapy is for like crazy people. Therapy is for people who have some emotional issues going on and they're not stable mentally. And I'm like, well, Danny, even if that was the case, sis, you don't think you fit that criteria? I'm just saying, Danny fits that criteria. So we find out that Tony is in therapy as well, and he's been going to therapy since his divorce. And interestingly, they have been dealing with each other for 3 months because we know it was a 3-month time jump. They have been dealing with each other for 3 months, and Tony being in therapy has never come up in a conversation. So that led me to believe that we are kind of seeing a merry-go-round of how Danny normally is in relationships. It's really, for the most part, about her. She's not really trying to gain information about the person that could be vital to them being in a productive and healthy relationship, even though it does appear that Tony is in fact a emotionally healthy individual. So Danny just wasn't trying to hear that. Then they ended up, having sex. But she wanted to know, what does he talk about in therapy when it pertains to her? And, Tony was like, that's private. I'm not going to discuss that. And he didn't. And I was like, I think I'm going to like this. I think I'm going to like him not giving in to her and not cowering to Danny, even though she has a strong personality. I think I'm going to enjoy seeing this. So my next favorite moment of last night was Karen and Pam. I absolutely adore the banter between Karen and Pam. Now, I will say over the seasons, we have seen a true change, because I used to feel like the things that Karen would say to Pam had a little sting to it. You know what I'm saying? Well, it didn't come out very nice, but we have truly seen them, in my opinion, become best friends. I definitely would say that Pam has Karen's back way more than Andy. She would be considered the best friend, in my opinion. So we see that Karen is baby good and pregnant. I'm like, baby, what you got? 2, 3 in there? Because ain't no way in hell. How you that? How you that big, sis? It's only been 3 months. So originally Karen was like maybe 2.5 months. So she should be like 5.5, maybe close to 6 months pregnant. But damn, still. It's more than one heartbeat up in there, because my gosh. So Karen and Pam are getting ready for the opening of the new salon. They are cleaning up, getting things ready. Pam is on her phone. Let me tell you, Angie, baby, you looks good. Okay? Pam looks good. It appears that she may have lost some weight because her face looks a little slimmer. I love the hair that she has. Pam was serving. But Pam was on her phone on social media trying to bring awareness to the opening of the shop, just doing her normal Pam-ology things that she does. I was already here for it and will always be here for it. Pam has truly, grown a place in my heart. But she will forever be nosy ass Pam. That's just what it is. And so Pam asked Karen, why don't you ask, Aaron or Zach to come by and help? And Karen wasn't with it. I loved how she downplayed it. I'm not going to say downplay it. I loved how she redirected and did not feed into the drama that possibly could have been. And she was like, what, call Zach Fatima jealous so she could break all the bones in his body? I don't want that. And Aaron, he's a good guy, but she just doesn't believe that she's the woman for him. Karen is really concerned about herself and bonding with her babies. I'm going to make it plural because ain't no way in hell that's one child up in there. And so Pam was getting ready to go to a club or something, and she invited Karen. And Karen was like, I told you I'm not trying to, engage like that. And I don't think anyone would be interested in a pregnant woman anyway. And Pam just reassures her that, girl, you pregnant, not dead. And I mentioned this last night too on Our Sister's Keeper, is that I love that the writers implemented that, because a lot of times when a woman becomes pregnant, she begins to feel like maybe her friends begin to withdraw a little bit. They may not invite her out. They may not, oh, girl, you pregnant. We didn't think you want to come. And I love the fact that that was not Pam's mindset. Pam was like, girl, you can roll with me if you want to. You being pregnant ain't gonna stop nothing over here. So I really did enjoy seeing them together, their playfulness, their banter. And I really am looking forward to see what happens with the friendship between Karen and Pam. Now, I was stuck between these two scenes because both of them was like, one of them was just entirely too long, but the other one I was just not interested in. So my third favorite moment of the night was the scene between Andy, Jordan, Penelope, and Gary. Now let me just start by saying, new Jordan, I think you're good. Okay? I do. I think you're good. But I don't think you're good here. Okay? I don't think you're good here. It was one thing wrapping my mind around the fact that this is another actor playing Jordan, which I'm okay with because I know sometimes things happen, schedules, whatever you can't control. I get it. I understand it. But this particular Jordan, him and Andy, no, I'm sorry. That looks so mixed match. It looks like he is trying to be a version of a man he thinks he should be, but it's not really him. So it's hard for me to buy into the fact that this is an ex-football player. It's hard for me to buy into the fact that this is a man that Andy would be involved with on a committed level. It's hard for me to really believe that based on who we know Andy to be. And I know in 3 months, she ain't changed that much. I can't. I don't believe it. But the fact that we see Gary and Penelope show up, from that moment, I said, what the hell is this? Why is Gary in this penthouse? Why is he there? There is no reason why, especially after everything that has come out, him being with Andy, him being with Penelope at the same time, him being a womanizer, having these multiple fiancés and all of this stuff like that. And I'm like, so Penelope, you stayed? And why is Penelope still pregnant? Because Penelope told us, if I remember correctly, that she was 7 months pregnant. Penelope baby should be fresh out the womb. Why is I said, you know what? But I'm gonna do a whole nother video about these season 7 writers and just my thoughts about them from the first episode. I'm gonna do that a little later. But anyway, why the hell is Penelope still pregnant? And I'm gonna leave it at that. So they are having a conversation on the couch. The energy is off. Gary is, he's shooting his little shots at Andy, basically telling her she's a liar and, she's just not that great of a person. And he can't believe she's being so nice to him. There has to be an ulterior motive or an agenda. And then we come to find out that Jordan is running for some type of office, local government. I said, I don't believe that either. I'm looking at this man. And, Jordan strikes me as the type of brother that might coach a JV football team at a high school. He doesn't give me politician, okay? I'm just going to be quite frank. He doesn't give me politician. But the moment he said he was running for something, Gary Devil Antenna's horns went straight up in the air. Oh, I'm going to donate to your campaign. And I believe he donated $100,000. I said, Jordan, don't take that money. Andy warned him, like, baby, I can't tell you what to do. But when Gary gives lavish gifts, it's something attached to it. It's his way to control. I can't tell you what to do, but in my opinion, I wouldn't take it. And here go Jordan. No, I think it's good. I said, how? How you think it's good after everything you know about this man? How do you think taking anything from Gary is good? It's not good. There is nothing good about it. At all. At all. So anyway, I said, all right. So Gary excuses himself to go to the bathroom. And they begin to wonder because it's taking bro a long time to come back out. And as he got up to go use the bathroom, he tells Andy, I don't need you to tell me where it is. I know where it is. I bought it. I bought this penthouse. I said, we all know that. We don't need you to reiterate, but okay, bro. But it's taking Gary a long time to come out the bathroom. When Penelope goes after him to look for him, find out what's going on with him, Gary has found a pair of Andy's panties that he is sniffing and that he uses to get himself aroused to the point where he's snuffing one out in her closet. And Penelope catches him. And he has the nerve to tell her it ain't what she think. Gary is disgusting. Gary is diabolical. Gary is the scum of the damn earth. Something is really wrong with Gary Borders. The fact that he is in there going to town, he is going to work on himself. While his fiance, while Andy and Jordan are literally in the next room. Something is wrong with this man. Literally something is wrong with him. Now I forgot a scene that was actually my third favorite scene of the night. And I did enjoy this scene. It was the scene with Sabrina and Rich. Now, again, like I said, I'll make another video discussing what the writers of season 7 chose to do in this episode. But Rich comes in right after Sabrina gets off the phone with Maurice. As Sabrina is talking to Maurice, we find out that Calvin has left town with a white chick. Sabrina is upset about it because, Calvin didn't say anything to her. She know it didn't work out with them as a couple, but they were, friends. They didn't make it as lovers, but they were friends. And I felt that. Like, I didn't feel that Sabrina was in a place where it was like jealousy. It was like, this was my friend. This was someone that I was cool with. Now, whether I wanted him or not, she didn't have to want Calvin. But Calvin placed himself in a position of being her friend, and you just skip town without saying anything. I said, okay, now do I feel they could have had a better send off for Calvin? Absolutely. I absolutely believe there could have been a better send off for Calvin, but I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to miss him. Anthony Dalton, you are a great actor, and I know there's going to be more roles to come for you, but Calvin was not a role that, to me, that stretched him. It wasn't a role that really demonstrated his acting abilities. It wasn't a role that, to me, put him in a great light. I feel like it's so much more he could have offered that character if giving the actual writing of it. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and we have seen, Calvin exit the show. And it was just hard to me to believe that Sabrina and Maurice talk all the time, and he just so happened to forget to bring that to her attention. I said, okay. So Rich shows up to the bank, and he brings flowers. He tells Sabrina, is that any way to greet your man? I said, oh sis, this your man? I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I'm excited to see Sabrina in a relationship. I'm excited to see Sabrina with a man that she actually likes, who likes her back. I am so excited to see this journey for her. I really am, because like I said many times before, I do not believe that Calvin and Sabrina were giving the fair chance of becoming something great. So to see her with Rich, I'm here for it. I want to see the ups and downs, the ins and outs, the journey of being a new couple and discussing what you want out of life, whether that person is in agreement or they're not in agreement, or they want something contrary to what you feel will make your life complete or make your life better. So it's going to be interesting to see their journey as a couple. Now, Rich was showing his disdain for the way that the bank treated Sabrina. He was getting a little, ruffled. And I'm like, okay, bro, calm down. She's in her office. She got her job back. It's good. She's the assistant manager. Everything is all good. Now I said, Sabrina, baby, you just got this job. I'm going to need you to not be trying to get it in on this desk, even though I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at her. I ain't mad at her. I get it. And I was even more excited that my girl was down for getting down in the car. Some people may, she shouldn't want to do that. Listen, some people are adventurous. Some people have boring sex lives. Sabrina wanted to make it known, look, and I think she was dealing with the fact that maybe she was thinking she was boring, especially after not being as adventurous as Calvin wanted her to be. But the white girl that he was with was into everything he was into. And I think she was kind of having a moment where she didn't want to be viewed as, that woman that just didn't do anything. I'm like, but having sex in the car, that's basic. That's mild. That's basic sex right there, in my personal opinion. But that's just me. And let me move along before people think, I do crazy stuff. But I do like Rich and Sabrina. And I'm excited that she just has a man who is showing her, his interest, and it's reciprocated back. Now, the last scene of the night that I'm going to discuss was my least favorite scene. And it was Zach and Fatima. And the reason why, not that they weren't discussing anything important, because we find out that Michael is in a foster care facility. Well, he's being fostered by this foster family, and, he's getting accustomed to it. And Zach doesn't want him to get accustomed to being in a fostered home. And I understand that. The thing that gets me about this Zach and Fatima thing is that we have literally been watching them have the same conversation for the past 8 episodes. It has been nothing new. It was completely boring to me. Then we find out that, Zach is just, I just want my son. I just want my son. They call Andy because Andy is his representation. I said, wait a damn minute. Andy is a divorce attorney. Now she's doing family law. But on this show, Andy has been every type of attorney there is. She's done criminal law. She's a divorce attorney, taxes, anything you could think about. She's been that lawyer. So I said, the hell with it. Whatever lawyer is needed, that's the lawyer that Andy and Hayden are going to be, period. So I'm going to let the writers have that. I ain't even going to talk about that. But Fatima calls Andy to soothe Zach's mind. First of all, I said, Fatima, remember when you told Andy she's only your boss between the hours of 8 and 5? And then that's it. I would have looked at my phone, saw Fatima, answered it, because they are friends. And the moment I found out that this was a professional call, a business call, I would have been like Big Red from the 5 Heartbeats.
My office hours are from 9 to 5.
Period. I'm not talking Zach down. We're not having this conversation. Then Zach wanted to set up Heather to do something illegal so he can prove how unfit she is of a mother. I said, hold the hell on. Y'all already done took a baby. Now you want to set her up to possibly go to prison? Are you kidding me? And this is where I do get a lot of pushback and a lot of rebuttals because of my views when it comes to Zach and this whole Heather situation. I am not saying by any stretch of the imagination that Heather is winning Mommy of the Decade. I am not saying that. But what I am saying is there has been so much compassion and sympathy for Zach being raised in the household he was raised in, having the type of mother that he had, without giving any type of grace toward the character of Heather, who stated that she was raised pretty much the same way. So my thought process has been, why is it okay for Zach to get a pass because of how he was raised? But we look at Heather, and the first thing we want to do is take her baby, label her as a bad mother, label her as someone who does not deserve to have her child. Why not put her in a position that she could be a better mother? Because the only thing that has happened with Zach is the fact that he has money. Zach went to one therapy session, and that was only to get Fatima back. He didn't do it to better himself. He went to therapy that one time. We ain't heard about therapy no damn more. He talked about therapy, the opening of season 6, to make it seem like he was such this different person and this great guy. Therapy has gone out the damn window, okay? It has gone out the window. So that's why I have such a strong, I guess like a strong stance when it comes to, I am not here for the bashing of Heather when her and Zach were pretty much kind of raised in the same type of lifestyle. The difference is Zach has always had black women to be there to soften his fall. He's always had black women to depend on. And it is obvious that Heather does not have anybody solid to depend on. And that's what I have the issue with. Everything that Zach needs, Fatima does everything pretty much for Zach. When it has come to this custody thing, everything, she's been that person he could depend on. Always. Then he has Andy, who's his lawyer that he knows because of Karen. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been that. He got the job at the airport because of Karen, because she knew Danny. All of those things have happened because there have been powerful black women in Zach's life who have softened his fall. And we just haven't seen that same thing for the character of Heather. And that's my stance on it. But like I said, if I was Andy, I wouldn't hung up that phone. I'm not discussing anything with you. And then Fatima even looked shocked that Zach would even come up with some type of plan like that for Heather. Like, why would you do that? What's wrong with you? I said, y'all, baby, get Zach some help for real. Because I said, baby, the fact that if you and Fatima would have took pictures, had evidence of the abuse, obviously something happened because Michael is no longer with Heather. Okay, cool. If you would have did what you had to do, then you probably would have had custody of him a whole lot sooner. But I am interested to see how Zach's background of criminality is going to play a role in him trying to obtain custody or guardianship of his child. I do want to, and I just hope the writers make that a realistic thing, because that is a thing that he has to deal with. Zach is, a felon. Zach has been to prison several times, all of that. So I just want to see how that plays into the narrative of this whole situation with this custody thing. But that's all I have to say about this episode. It was, I rated it like a 5.5. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I'm gonna give the writers grace because it was only the first episode. But child, we gonna see. Hopefully it's up from here. But like I said, we gonna see. But until next time, I want to thank you guys for listening. I greatly appreciate you. So until next time, y'all be safe out there, and I will holler at y'all later. One.